All right, so today I was able to make again $2,000 trading with liquid charts and sending all my trades through the Telegram channel that I have. What I want to do is actually go through the trades, how I placed them, how the setups were, so that you can actually learn exactly how I did it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and do that. Hey everyone, Christian here on YouTube. Welcome to a brand new video for the channel. Today, I'm gonna share with you how I was able to make $2,000 in about 12 minutes. It wasn't like, it's like a 10-minute trades or something like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. But hey, if you're new to my channel, go ahead and smash the like button as usual. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, for those of you who don't know, I do have a private trading room where not only I actually send my setups, but I also like share my screen and share exactly how the charts are doing and when I'm trading. So if by any chance you actually want to go ahead and be part of it, you can go to blwsignalsgroup.com. I'm gonna have the link to it in the description of this video. It's only $69.99 a month, and you get to trade every day with me at 7:30 or market opens, pretty much 9:15 New York time, 9:15 Eastern Standard Time. You do the conversion. But yeah, go ahead and check it out, blwsignalsgroup.com. All right, so let's go ahead and go through the setups that we had today. So this is the exact moment where I send the first trade. As a matter of fact, 7:15, it was right there. This is the moment where I actually put my setups and so on, and I told people, hey, there's a risk of retraction and so on. But if you can actually see, this is the moment the market opens right here. Yeah, exactly at the moment of the chart. So we got the first one and boom, it activated going like this, going up. It hit 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1, and almost 4-to-1. Then it continued to go up for another candlestick right there. Boom, 5-to-1. Super fast. At the 7:40, which is 10 minutes after New York market opens, I had already had a take profit of 5-to-1. Me personally, I closed it at 4-to-1, but that's just because I had the feeling that the price was actually going to retract. It was reaching a pretty high level that had happened before, which was this one right here. So it's like, yeah, this 4-to-1 might actually start to retract right now. I could have made more money, yep, but after that, it literally started retracting as I thought. I thought it was going to retract in here. It didn't, but I was still able to make some pretty good money. Now let's go ahead and do the other. Hold on. Let me show you the second setup. All right, so this was the second setup. Let me just go ahead and delete what can get you confused. So this is exactly what I did. I know it looks confusing because I have two setups at the same time. But why is that? Because there is a possibility that the price will actually jump and hit the above take profit. But there's also a possibility that this trend line gets actually broken. And that's the reason why I sent two setups. Now that you've actually seen that, the market will open exactly at the place where I put the chart again, like I said, what I do. And this is the moment, the next candle is the moment where the market opens. And as you can see right there, boom, it went straight down. Straight down. It touched this area. Yes, it touched this area. But even if you actually activated this trade, still you lost 0.5. But this trade right here, as you can see, it went all the way to like 3-to-1. If I'm not mistaken, somewhere here. Hold on. At 3-to-1. Immediately. So I closed that specific position right there. However, it continued and it reached this area. And at this area, I actually told people, hey, you know what? Let me, I think I have it somewhere in the Telegram. But I told them, hey, let's go ahead and if it goes to this area, I think the price could actually start jumping. Like literally here, it can start jumping and you can put your stop loss somewhere below the trend line. The reason why I actually thought that, it was because first of all, the movement on stochastic had already happened. In 5 and in 15 minutes, it had already crossed down right here. And so basically I thought, okay, maybe there's going to be a retraction continuing the trend that we've been having the last few days. And guess what? It did exactly that. And it went all the way to this area. Now, I closed my trade somewhere here. I didn't want to be greedy or anything, but the trade could have easily been another 5-to-1. What would be a 5-to-1? Somewhere there. That would be another 5-to-1. And then it jumped like this. Boom, it hit another 5-to-1. Like pretty easy. Now, like I said, this trade doesn't even count as one of my trades. Simply because in the end, I believe that this is something that you actually get with some experience after trading for a while. But what it did, it activated the second setup that I had, and it went all the way almost to 3-to-1. As simple as that. It broke, it went all right here. If you had a pending order, it reached this area. As simple as that. Then it continued to drop or whatever, but the session had been already over. Let's see, 7:35, we hit a 4-to-1. 7:45 right here, we almost had a 3-to-1 again. Not bad. Not a bad session at all. And one thing I can tell you is that a lot of people made money on these setups. I know they might seem complicated right now, and I will record another video like explaining this strategy, even though I've explained it like many times before, but I'm gonna make a new updated video. But yeah, these were the setups of the day. Not bad at all. Now, when it comes to my results, I had one trade, this $2,000 trade that I lost. It was, like I said, I saw the breakout of the trend line and I went in. Unfortunately, it actually touched the zone and then it retracted. So I ended up losing that trade on US 30, $2,000. Then I made almost $3,000 on another one. And then what I do is that I usually close partials. This is another sell. No, this was the buy that was activated and then retracted at the beginning of the market on NASDAQ, if I'm not mistaken. But then I closed a lot of partials right here. Boom, boom, boom. If you do the math, I started with 2,000. It was like $2,200, $20,200, I'm sorry. So I was able to make like $2,600 or something like that. I'm not 100% sure exactly about the extra about the 2,000, but you get to see it was a 10% balance increase. 10% balance increase. Simple, right? And obviously following my own setups. As you can see right here, I have the resistance, I have a mid support, I have the resistance, I have a mid support as well based on this. And these are the entries that I was able to have. Simple. Yeah, it looks simple, but in the end, what's really important is that you actually adapt to the way I'm sending the setup so that you can take full advantage of it. But as long as you actually follow the instructions and you're like pretty much good to go. Hey, before I explain to you what is closing partials or moving your stop loss to break even, let me just go ahead and give you a full recommendation about the best prop firm of 2025, which is this one right here called Prime. Prime is basically a funded account company. What it does is that it allows you to buy an actual bigger account with very little money. What I mean is that, for instance, you have $500 to invest on an account. I don't know, $500 to invest. You want to trade with $500. Well, instead of actually investing with $500, you can actually buy for $374 a $50,000 account. So you're not going to trade with $500. You're going to trade with a $50,000 account. Now, obviously, there's a trick or there's something that you need to consider, which is you have to pass a challenge. This one right here for one step only for $50,000 is $411. So what you got to do is pretty much make at least 10% profits without losing more than 3% in a day or 6% overall. If you're able to do that, then you will be able to actually start withdrawing money with the $50,000. So if you make, let's say, $5,000 a month, you are able to withdraw up to 95% of that specific money. What that gives you is the advantage of leverage those $500 that you used to have. So instead of trading with 500, you can trade with $50,000. And there's many other options out here. For instance, you can go up to $300,000 account. And you can even buy a direct account, which means that you're not going to go through any challenge. You can buy, let's say, for the same $500, $575, you can buy a $25,000 instant account, which will allow you to lose no more than 3% per day and no more than 5% overall. Once you're able to avoid those drawdowns, whatever amount of money you make without going through any challenge, you can withdraw. So if you make $2,000 out of it, you withdraw the $2,000, you get up to 90% split rate, which means out of the $2,000, you're gonna withdraw $1,800. But in the end, take a look at it. It's just a way to leverage the small amount of money that you wanted to invest. So you don't have to have the $25,000 anymore. You can just buy a funded account. I'm gonna have the link to it in the description of this video. And if you use the promo code BLW15, you can get a 15% off on any account that you want to. Go ahead and the link in the description to All of Prime in the description of this video. Now, what is closing partials and what is moving to break even? A lot of people are like, hey, I was actually in the trade of US 30, but then the price actually took me back down and I lost all of my money. It doesn't happen on this trade because it went straight to the take profit. But what I mean with closing partials, it basically means, I want to see if I can find an arrow. There you go. So what it means is that if you see that the price actually goes to here, 1-to-1, this is a 1-1 risk reward. You can close partials right here. You don't have to, but you can. If you close partials right there, that means that you book some profits. If the price goes to 2-to-1, you want to book some profits, you can do right here and right here and right here. And whenever the price actually starts to go into the right direction, you can move your stop loss. Your stop loss was right here. You can move it to the break even or slightly above the break even so that if it retracts, you still make money. Now, this is a big mistake that a lot of people are not doing, like closing partials and so on. That's the reason why you get to see that I don't make $2,000 on one simple trade. You see a bunch of wins. Let's do the math. 395.80 plus 195.80 plus 905.60 plus 1,388.10. This trade only made me $2,885. This NASDAQ trade. But as you can see, I closed my partials. That's what I did. Okay, so that's what you got to do as well. If you do US 30, you have 524.70 times 432.20. That's a $956 trade. Okay, yes, I have some losses and so on. But in the end, I mean, what's really important is that you fully are able to take advantage of the big movements. Because if you don't close partials on this one, for instance, right here, it then retracted and you missed the opportunity to make a lot of money. And it probably hit the stop loss. So you got to keep that in mind. I always mention during my streamings and in the Telegram channel, like close partials, move to break even. That's what I mean by it. And if you don't want to close partials, you just want to move the break even, then there's, depending on what platform you're trading, there's always a stop loss line that you can just drag and put whatever you want to. So if the price actually starts to go into this direction, get the actual stop loss and drag it and put it boom above the break even or whatever you want to. But in the end, so that it doesn't just retract immediately and hit the stop loss, especially with NASDAQ and US 30. Sometimes there's fast movements and you don't want to be part of the fast movement going against your direction. So hopefully that actually makes sense. How you can trade directly with me? Well, what I do every single day is that I actually will go online. This is the chat group. So I will go online right here. This is where the stream started, somewhere here. So I actually send the setups right here. This is the buy and the sell. This is the buy and the sell NASDAQ. And then people will comment right here. This is the thanks Christian is because it already finished. I started at 725 and it already finished. US 30 hit the 5-to-1. Here's the screenshots, 5-to-1. Then I have a 3-to-1 on buy and 3-to-1 on sell on NASDAQ. And this person said, I just grabbed $2,000 for today's and I have $2,000 left to pass my first steps account. Crazy, huh? And then I share my numbers. This is something that I mean, so far this month, I'm a 96 on risk reward ratio. I know it sounds too good to be true. I'm not trying to buy your, I don't know, trust or whatever. Do whatever you want. But people in the group have been looking at this. It's just freaking insane. And then this is the way I actually share my screen. Okay. And I talk to it. I explain everything. I explain everything that I do. And then I hit my screen 100% live so you guys can get to see exactly what I'm doing and so on. I even shut my streaming right here and said like, hey, I'm just going to close it right now. I'm going to hold it and so on. I close this one at 4-to-1, like I said, and I close this one and I enter a buy on here, which I close somewhere here. But yeah, this is the way you get to trade. And you don't trade just with me. This is Lester sending gold signals and so on and so forth. So yeah, this is the way you can join me. And like I said, the invitation is go to blwsignalsgroup.com. Hey, so hopefully you enjoyed the content of this video. If you did, smash the like button as usual. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Leave a comment in case you have any questions. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.